So this is a little channel update. It's nothing big, nothing important. Just how I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking, though. I much appreciate it. Just wanted to talk about some things currently that have been on my mind with this channel, you know? So one thing is, I've been talking for a long time about doing some, you know, other video stuff, like more video essays for films. I mean, that's kind of... Ooh, that's not good. I've talked a lot about doing video essays. A lot. And how many do I have? Well, I have Game of Thrones. Does that count? Game of Thrones is undoubtedly my most popular series, and I quite enjoyed making it. The only thing is, as I've started to, you know, progress as a YouTuber, I've been doing some things. As I've started to progress as a YouTuber, my editing style has gotten more refined. Not more refined, it's just taking more time to do certain things. For example, if you look at my latest Sunless Skies video, oh Jesus Christ, the editing required is on another level compared to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, a little trade secret for any of you out there, was pretty lazy. It was pretty much just rip the trailers straight off the internet, put as little effort into it as possible, and that's it. I mean, I'd loop one or a couple of songs through the track, but overall it would just be not too impressive in terms of editing. But that made it a lot more efficient to do, not gonna lie. It's been a fuck ton harder to do actual editing. I know, putting effort in, it's almost like putting effort in is going to be harder. Yeah, I know, amazing. As a result of putting more effort in, it takes a lot longer to do things. I do think the quality of my videos greatly improves because of this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, compared to the Game of Thrones reviews, which is just like stealing trailers off the internet, it's a whole nother dimension. I've started, you know, lifting Seth's style, a bit of Matthew Matosis. I create my own style out of other styles that are available, you know? Because that's just how I roll. But, man, editing, it's tough. So that's why movie review... That's why it's taking just a little bit longer than anticipated for some of these things. Like a 5-minute review for RimWorld. For RimWorld, for fuck's sake. And I didn't even have a whole lot to say about that. Just that it was a pretty good game, and you should play it. Wow, I don't even need to do any editing. There's my review, folks. RimWorld. Pretty good. You don't need to play it. You do need to play it. That's my review. Thank you. I really want to do a game review for every game I've done. Only problem with that... What is this? Ooh. So, I've wanted to do a game review for every single one of the games that I've done, because I have the footage for it, and why not, you know? I love games. And I plan to do more of them. Even if they are obscure little indie titles, I'd like to play them and do them. They're just fucking spectacular. The reason I mostly play indie games is because up until now, I haven't actually had a proper computer. Yeah, there you go. I suppose you know now. The secret's out there. I've played mostly on a laptop. So, the reason I've not played any bigger titles, so to speak, is, well, hardware. You work with what you've got, right? And also there's some pretty good indie games out there, which I'd love to give some lip service to, but I do I suppose that's a separate topic. Let's finish this topic before I get too off track. I am a rambler, if you didn't know. I kind of move from one topic to the next very quickly, without knowing what I've just said previously. It makes it difficult to be cogent sometimes, unless I've got a script or I've got a specific rant in mind, like Game of Thrones. Listen to this tangent. How long has this gone on for? So yeah, I want to do more game stuff, but I want to do movie stuff. And I've got university to balance and life and going to the gym and don't you just wish there was like thousands of hours in the day that you could just get everything done? Like you could slow down time and get everything you want to get done. That'd be fucking sweet. I'd absolutely have that as my superpower. I wanted to do a video essay on Attack on Titan. The only problem with that though is I'm actually quite well, the time's passed, you know? Sometimes when you're making videos you have to think about, is this relevant now? And if it's not, it's like, well, you know, what would be the point in doing it? I don't think anyone would see it, unfortunately. Because a lot of the time it is due down to the YouTube algorithm, whether you get picked or not even that. Sometimes it's just a matter of keeping ahead of the curve against the competition. It's just classic business stuff, right? So it would be unsuccessful financially to play an old game or do a video on an old topic that no one cares about unless you've built your channel around that. You already have accumulated a fan base around, say, your personality. So then people will follow your personality and they'll say, okay, I'll listen to what you have to say. But we're not there yet. So to get there, I need to put in the legwork to establish myself as a presence first. And that means I've got to get ahead of the game, so to speak. I've got to get in there with the clickbait videos, kind of earn a reputation for myself first. So, yeah, I know what some of you are thinking out there. Some of you undoubtedly, you saw my clickbait thumbnails that I put with the boobs, and you're like, this guy's got no self-respect. And, you know, you're kind of right, not gonna lie. But you're kind of wrong. No, you're absolutely right. I'm doing that. Hopefully I won't have to do that in the future. It's just so I can get a foothold in the door, you know. It can be fickle like that, having to put boobs in the thumbnail, but hopefully someday, you know, once, if I garner more fans, so to speak, that will be completely unnecessary, and I can just do thumbnails that are respectable on topics that we can all appreciate, and I won't have to, you know, be one of those channels, so to speak. Ooh, beautiful. I really want to do stuff like, Darkwood. Darkwood is the dream, because man, that game is fucking spectacular. But the game has been out for a long time, and if you want playthroughs, you can see lots of them. So I'm conflicted, you know? Should I do that? I don't think anyone would see it, despite the fact that I really want to do it. So instead, what I've been thinking about doing is some more modern games. No, this is far better. Since I've now got a PC, yeah, I know, hold your applause. I'm fine. Look, here's a little anecdote for you. My first forays into the world of PC gaming was Dark Souls. Was a Macintosh laptop. Yep. You must be thinking, wow, Macs are beastly rigs. Wow, you must have had such a fun time. Yeah, I did. That old Macintosh served me pretty well. The old Macintosh also couldn't play a whole lot of games, So I had to, illegally install Windows on the Macintosh to get some of the games I wanted to play. And the games I wanted to play were definitely not supported by Macintosh. The first game I ever got for the Mac laptop when I thought I want to be a PC gamer was Dark Souls. If you don't know, Dark Souls is one of the worst I don't know if it's one of the worst in my limited knowledge of the PC market, but it's a fucking terrible port from console. So I would have actually been a lot better just buying the game on console. That kind of soured me on games on the PC for a lot of my life. But anyway, I played it, and it was different. The thing was, the controls were so poorly mapped to the keyboard that I was really struggling. And of course there's the games for Windows Live. Oh, you don't want me to get into that. I could speak for hours on my disgust for that program. But regardless, I booted up. The controls aren't mapped properly because it's a shitty port. And man, there are so many problems. And the controls are so bad that I have to go into the options to change them. But here's the thing. It's bound... The whole menu is bound to the end key. And I don't know if any of you have used a Macintosh laptop. Like, this was one from like 2006. They don't have an end key. So I had to go and steal someone's keyboard to change the binding of my controls. That was a sad day, I gotta say. It has to be said. That was a pretty shitty port, and it soured me on PC games for a little while. But now I finally got a PC. I can play an actual PC, not a Macintosh laptop. I can play games. Incredible, I know. I'm excited for myself, what can I say? So I was thinking of playing some more modern games, and if anyone's, you know, a fan, I'm not necessarily sure if I have fans, because YouTube's a bit of a weird system. So now I was thinking of getting, there was that game that's kind of Dark Souls-like, and it's a third-person shooter. Oh, Remnant, something Remnant from the Ashes. That's right. That's quite a modern game. I don't know. I haven't seen playthroughs from popular YouTubers, but then again, I don't really watch popular gaming YouTubers. Wow, funny that. So I don't know what the market is like exactly for Remnant playthroughs on YouTube, but that's a thought I've had. I've also thought about playing, is it Conduit? Concept? Something. It's a really nice looking game, and since I've got a pretty good rig, I expect I might be able to run it. I'd have to test it. Unfortunately, it's on, what, Epic Games? Because there's that... Because Epic Games is, you know, very anti-consumer. That's my thoughts on that. If you like the Epic Games Store, well, good for you, but I kind of came to PC for the distinct lack of exclusivity. And, well, you know, exclusives make me flaccid. Let's just put it that way. I'm not a fan of them. But I might get Epic Games just for that game, because I think it looks sweet, and it's got this ambience to it that I haven't seen in a long time. Not since the first Dark Souls, I think. Where it's got these environments which are just titillating to look at. It's gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. So I thought about playing that as well. There are some other, you know, modern games that I'd like to play. When the next Darkest Dungeon comes out, the next Hollow Knight, because I'm a fan of both those indie games. They're fucking excellent. So I'd play them in a heartbeat. I do want to do some throwback games some old series, like I did Night in the Woods, for example, which is kind of, shall we say, since it's past its prime for YouTube playthroughs. You know, it was played like 3 years ago by Jacksepticeye and whatnot, and just kind of moved on. But I didn't. I'm still here, back in the 2014. So I'm here for you, my friend. But genuinely, Darkwood is a game I'd love to play. There's a few other games that I'd be interested in playing, but I want to do some modern ones so I can kind of pick up traction for the channel first. Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm still learning my craft, so to speak. I'm getting better. My editing's getting a bit better. And it will improve more and more as time goes on. Oh, need to get through there. Ice shards. Not as good as anything I've got. Right, ooh. Oh! Yikes. Good thing I've still got lots of healing. A couple of games I'd like to play, if you'd be interested. But at the moment, I'm looking for more popularity, so to speak. I want this channel to grow. To grow big and tumescent like my on a Friday night. Unnecessary joke, but you know, we're gonna take it. Get the jokes in while you can, folks. I'm not really using any of my abilities. Guilty as charged, I don't use my abilities. I'm sorry. Alright? I should be less precious with them, but I'm one of those gamers who holds onto all of their stat items even when the game is finished. You know? When it's long past the time when I should have used them. I don't know what I'm holding on to them for. There's some critical moment I'm waiting for, and it's just not happening. And it never will happen, because those moments are so rare, but I'm still holding on to my items for that one moment. In terms of movie reviews, I want to do more. I might keep some of the old format for that, though. We'll see. It's just a bit too hard to do the editing for, and to find the film online, because I'm not a filthy pirate as it currently stands. I only illegally stream, and that's clearly not pirating. But I've thought about doing some movie stuff, more Ralph the Movie Maker type things. I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that kind of just recants the plot, and that's my review. And there are a lot of them out there, and they're damn entertaining folks, don't get me wrong, and they produce pretty top quality content. But no, this is actually a terrible weapon. But it doesn't feel like I've learned anything necessarily from it, from just hearing the plot told again to me. And some of the times it's there are some channels where it feels like it preys upon ignorance. Like, if you actually know the plot. Okay, here would be a perfect time to do that. Oh! There were two of them. Okay, they didn't cause too much of a fuss. I'm happy. And and they create these kind of narratives for what the movie is like, or what the movie's saying, but it's built upon conjecture. I think there was... I'd have to find the specific video, because right now it's just conjecture what I'm saying, because I don't have any evidence to support it, right? So I'm doing the same thing as them, and I'm not saying I'm better than them. I'm saying that I'm guilty of it too, so I'm trying to be more aware of it, so in other videos I could do less of it, you know? Less conjecture, more actual arguments. And I don't think people care too much about this stuff. Because, you know, create quality videos, people watch it and have a good time. I'm very nitpicky, so to speak. I like to hold myself to unreasonable standards. There we go. which is why sometimes my videos take a bit longer. I want to hold myself to unreasonable standards so I can produce quality content for you. I also need to be able to output more videos because otherwise people aren't seeing me, so to speak. Because it's all great creating fabulous content, but if no one sees it, you know. So I need to keep this balance of having enough content there that I'm getting on the algorithm, and otherwise, it's a difficult balancing act. I can't say that I quite have it down yet. Here's the thing: YouTube's systems are interesting, but some of the times they don't work. For a lot of my videos, I just have a flat, like, audience retention rate. But then, I've actually seen that it can be the case that an audience has watched it, but it hasn't registered their watch time. So it's hard to make a judgment call on some of these things, like, well, no one wants to see this, right? Because it seems like no one's watched it. But maybe they have. It's just YouTube is bizarre, man. And it can be hard to understand. So, really, the only way I'm gonna engage audience interest without the help of, you know, YouTube itself would be a comment or something. Shameless self-promotion, but really, that's the best way to do it. There's one guy out there who's said maybe you'd consider doing more. What would you call it? More popular games to, and, you know, I can respect that. He's probably right, so I should be doing more. Oh. So I plan on doing more popular games. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I think I've cultivated enough of a personality of some sort that I can say, yeah, you could probably hold an audience's interest for an extended period of time, at least for like half a second. I don't have a way of knowing, again, because the YouTube algorithm system is bizarre and weird beast. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that, ooh. Not my best fight, gotta be said. Oh! It's probably an appropriate place to stop, because, you know, I have to be somewhere soon. So I'm gonna just put my loss down to having to be elsewhere, you know. Classic, I don't have time for this. It's not because I lost the argument, it's because, like, I don't care. And I got better things to do. I will probably die here. I think I'm getting better at the YouTube thing. I hope that's coming across to all of you. I'm gonna try my best to become good, so that you can watch my content and enjoy it and can have a laugh. I'm gonna continue doing game stuff and movie stuff, probably at a similar pace that I'm doing now. If I don't have anything for you within a week, it's just gonna be another one like this. So just be warned. This is kind of, yeah, this is probably one of my lower effort bits of content. Ow, I'm dead. Okay, that's fine. One of my lower effort bits of content, but it helps me just kind of put my thoughts in order, and hopefully you get something out of it. And this can kind of document my journey, so to speak, so I can look back on it and go, oh god, that was embarrassing. How you do when you know, you look back at your photos of yourself when you were 14 years old and say, oh, Jesus Christ, was I really like that? So yeah, thank you for coming along to this video. I hope you took something from it. I will see you again next week.